Hello, y'all. Christian White, the One Day at a Time Dad, continuing on with Listening to Learn, a series created by me to just connect people to other people's stories in the hopes that they learn more about themselves and other people. I'm here with Mike, man.
What's up?
Appreciate it. So I've never interviewed you before, so I'll start off with, what are some of your earliest childhood memories?
Damn, my earliest childhood memories. Man, my mom used to tell me like I got memory like an elephant. Like my brother, she says my brother didn't push the shit on. I was like 3 years old. He like bumped into the glass frame or something. I thought he pushed it, but she said he bumped into it, split my shit like wide open. Got like 15 stitches or something like that. That's my earliest childhood memory.
And how old was that? 3?
I was 3.
Holy shit.
And then, if we're talking about like inner city, like earliest childhood memories, it might be Tonawanda, like 1994. Somebody just got bodied, and we walked down the street, and like we didn't even know. It was just mad lights and stuff. It was like Channel 7, Channel 5, Fox 25, and me and my little brother was like trying to get on the news, and there was a body in the middle of the like floor with the thing on it, with the white sheet on it, you know what I'm saying? And we just trying to get on the news, like, oh, the news, you know what I'm saying? So like thinking about it now, that's just kind of messed up, but I remember that.
And how old was that?
I might have been like 8. Nah, 6 or 7. Because 1997 I turned 10. So 94, I was like 7, yeah. And then that next year, my mom bought me a bike. So like, I don't know if you know what Tonawanda is.
Yep.
It's like at the top. We couldn't go up to that. What is it? Claiborne?
Wait, is Tonawanda headquarter boys?
Nah, that's Tonawanda.
That's Algonquin. Mm-hmm. Why did I think Tonawanda was near Algonquin? Okay, no, I'm off then.
Nah, yeah, Tonawanda is over near Park Street.
Yeah. Okay, I'm right. Yeah,
over there.
Yep, we in the same spot. Okay,
yeah. So I lived at the bottom towards Geneva, and then going up, I believe that street is Claiborne. I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know.
I forget what street it is. You go all the way up the street, and there was a basketball court. Now it's like a cleaned out like playground or something like that. But 1993, 92, 91, it was a basketball court.
And what was Boston like then?
Yeah, Boston then, it was like lit but scary. As a kid, it was like I guess you would, for me as a kid, it was like New York. Until I got to New York, and it's nothing like New York. But as a kid, it was like scary because it was so many murders and like bodies, and like you couldn't go to any projects without, like, you couldn't wear any hats. Like me growing up in this era, and then I actually had the chance to, like, we'll talk about that when you ask about it, but I'll plant the seed. I had the chance to live somewhere else in Plymouth and not experience that shit. But then I came back to it, and it was different. So when I left, it was the jerseys and the hats. When I came back, it was just streets, and then random streets had random gangs that you never, you know what I mean? Like when I'm from Tonawanda, I was born, and then I was raised on Tonawanda until like 1999, 2000. I come back in 2004, 2005, and now they're Crown Path. Now they're a whole gang. There's a whole conglomerate of ninjas ready to bang on something, and they bang. I don't know if they pea stone or they blood or whatever. They just really a gang now. That shit wasn't there before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that old, but when I was riding up and down the street, wasn't nobody from no Crown Path. There was Crips up the street on Geneva, Crip Geneva niggas. You know what I'm saying? That was the closest I ever heard to a real gang in Boston, besides the projects, academies, Heath Street, Mission. Like you couldn't walk in Mission, Heath Street Academy without, or the Point. Like these are places where there's a no-fly zone. Like, you know what I mean? My mom, her sisters, and everybody knew there's no fly zone. You know what I'm saying? Like in this era, it's even worse now. But at that time, it was more even. It's worse now because you're really getting bodied. Like everybody, it's a no holds barred. At that time when I was growing up, it was more of a family thing. You weren't walking in there off of the respect, like I know better type shit. You know what I'm saying? Not even on some scary shit. It's just like, I know not to walk through Lenox. I know not to walk through Mission. I know not to walk through, you know what I'm saying? These certain spots. I know not to walk through H Block. You know what I'm saying? I know where not to be type shit. And it wasn't even off some scary shit. It was off some, you scare people into respect. So it was scary. But it was off the respect issue. Today, you can't walk through there because little niggas is really gonna body you. Nobody really has, it's like nobody has a conscience no more type shit. Not even a conscience, but like all the older homies, like we were talking about earlier, nobody's there to teach nobody. So, you know, I be seeing on Facebook a lot, and then a lot of social media sites where women ask questions like, why aren't these men treating us good, or why aren't, you know, and they're not even talking about men like me or you. You're 40 or 30, 40, you're excuse, I don't know your age.
I'm 41, yep.
41-year-old man. You're a man. She's talking about a 23-year-old boy. You know what I'm saying? When I was 23 years old, I was in jail with a 15-year sentence. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, I didn't have a father until I was like, I didn't know my father until I was 11 or 12 or some shit like that. But them formative years, nobody taught me how to treat a woman. Nobody's teaching none of these little niggas.
So let me ask you, growing up, what did you understand a man to be?
That's a hard question. That's a really, really hard question. My mom has like 9, R.I.P. auntie. She has 8 sisters, 2 brothers. We were always with her sisters. My cousins lived with us. So it was like, I have a brother and a sister. And my father has 2 daughters and a son. But before I met my father, I was just by myself with my mother and my brother and my sister. Okay. So before I...
And y'all grew up together?
Separately. I have a different father for my brother and my sister. Okay, okay. So my father has his own family, and then my mother has her own family.
And you grew up with your mom and that unit, basically your entire childhood, or?
Until once I met him, she sent me to live with him. I was bad.
Okay.
And then it's really weird. And then she ended up needing me, so I came back maybe 2-3 years after that. So I came back and lived with her in Plymouth. That was like 2000.
And how was it? Did you adjust better with Dad?
Dad was a bachelor, so at the time I didn't know what having a dad was. I was ecstatic to have a father. You know what I mean? So like everything he said I did. He was daddy this, daddy that. You know what I mean? Like forcing it because I never had a father. Yeah, and my brother had a father. You know what I'm saying? So I would be jealous of him in Christmas and shit. He had the pennies. Like I would really be upset that, you know, you're getting this love from somebody else and me and you share the same love for mommy type shit. But that's some little kid shit. So then I met my father when I was like 11. She sent me to live with him. She couldn't, like, I was really alive.
How did you meet him?
My grandmother came to our house and was like, I'm not gonna continue this, I guess, BS no more with you and my son. I just want to see my grandson. And that was like the first time I ever met my grandmother. R.I.P. did. And
how was it when you met her?
That was probably one of the best times of my life. Meeting her, my aunt, R.I.P. Auntie Keisha, and my cousin, Melisha, like meeting all of them was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Because like, I was already like mad about everything. Like I got an OD temper. And like, I think it's because I'm short and shit. I'm 5'6", so I'm gonna be 5'6" forever. Like I've fought people I'm not supposed to be fighting. I get in arguments I'm not supposed to be getting arguments about. I let people push me to the extreme, knowing that I'm not supposed to go there. It just be this ticking, like I don't give a fuck type shit. You know what I mean? And I think I know I'm learning how to control that shit now. But you know.
So let me ask, and that's kind of a good bridge. What are your thoughts on in general when you hear like the words mental health or depression?
Nobody
trauma?
takes black men's mental health serious, and I feel like it's deliberately done that way.
Explain a little bit.
The music. I just posted some shit the other day. If you think about it, 1993, 94, 95, 92, 91, that's your era. What music was you listening to?
Scarface, Dr. Dre,
all right.
Fifth Ward Boys, Ghetto Boys.
So let me go a little further. 89, 88, 87, what was you listening to?
UTFO, Houdini, Curtis Blow, MC Shan.
Now what was they rapping about? What was Curtis Blow rapping about?
Much different. Times have switched.
And then what was Dr. Dre rapping about? So that time frame, as soon as that switched, that's where I'm from. So once Curtis Blow and them, they was rapping about love, peace, harmony, us on the strip, drinking, chilling, the girl down the street, you know, glass everywhere. If it ain't about the money, don't get. Nobody's rapping like that no more. No, where's the new Jack Swing at? What happened to that? So who consciously made that decision to force this kind of music upon this generation? It wasn't us. We didn't make that decision. We're literally, I rap, I make music. We're rapping what we're living. We're giving you who we are.
Yes.
Before this, we knew love. We don't know love no more type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit, like real black men don't really experience love no more. Like to a real degree, single mothers, no father, in the streets. Only love you experience is camaraderie from your mans. He don't know love. So how can I really say I love you, man? And I tell all my men, all my guys, all people that I really care, I tell them I love them. That's something that I learned to do because I actually love you, and I want you to smell the roses before you pass. I want to know that before I pass, I told everybody that I love them. Real shit, because that means something.
Yes.
That shit's really gonna keep me alive. It's really gonna keep you alive to actually love another person. Real shit. Love will keep it. You could be dying of COVID, and love will really keep you alive.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's that deep. And I mean, I say like 85% of us don't even know what real love is, type shit. Especially our formative years. And our formative years are the years we're supposed to actually experience.
And I mean, do you
love.
connect that to the culture itself? That it only can teach us love to a certain limit?
I believe that our culture has been manipulated and used, and our love has been taken away, and violence and all that other shit has just been like the poster child for rap. And you know, you started off with mental health. Why I say all this is because in your mental state, if all you know is violence, if all you know is shoot 'em up, all you hear is shoot 'em up, bang bang, and and I slang drugs and hoes and big booties. When you 13, 14, what are you gonna want to do? You gonna want to slang, shoot, big booties, and drugs, codeine, lean, and all that other shit that people's doing. That's what you're gonna want to do, right? I mean, it's on the radio, jamming 94.5, 88.9. Everybody, you saying the same shit. I don't hear nothing with no love in it, except when they play the little slow songs, and don't nobody want to hear the slow songs.
And half that time, that love is just to be able to get into someone's pants by the end of it.
At the end of the day, just to have sex or whatever, you know what I mean? It's not genuine love. I genuinely love the people I say I love you to. You know what I mean? Really. And I think that it's a void for us, especially in Boston. If you ever realize, especially in the music scene, you don't get love out here.
So let me ask right now, what does music mean to you? And where do you hope to go with it?
Music is life. I mean, since I was 10, I would say I would make $1 million off my music. I ain't famous. Niggas don't know me. I mean, I can rap my ass off. I can rap around circles around it. I done been in a joint with niggas and winning ciphers, and there's a lot of niggas that could contest to it. It's OG. I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn. I'm good. But niggas don't know me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even mad at that. I'm not paying for no promo. I don't got no money for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the grind. I could just do what I could do. I got mad spins on sites and shit. You know what I'm saying? I got numbers to actually show that I'm good. But for what music is for me, it's just life. Maybe that's why I'm not pushing, and it's my dream. So like, I just don't have the funds to bust the moves that I really want to. And if I don't got the funds to do that, I feel like that I'm doing myself a disservice trying to go do shows and all this shit, and I'm waiting for somebody to give me a ride, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I can't make it because, you know, the rental's gone. Just some dumb.
So I mean, if you were properly funded, would you do music full time?
Hell yeah. I mean, I want to do music full time now. It's literally like, I'm an artist. I don't just rap. I write little love songs and shit. I be trying new shit. You know, I listen to country sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love music. I love old school music. I don't even listen to rap that much. I be listening to the hot shit sometimes, but I'm an 80s baby. I listen to soul, I listen to the neo soul too. You know what I'm saying? Music really calms me. When I'm in a bad mood, I gotta listen to some Al Green or like Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross, Big Luther. I love Luther.
When you say a bad mood, leading up to listening to whatever calms you, what will you be going through just before you put that music on?
When I don't give a fuck. I could do anything. I'm not a killer. I ain't never killed none in my life. I definitely dumped on a few things. I definitely poked on a few things, you know, but I get money. I'm a get money kind of nigga. That's what I want. I want money. I love money. So, you know, violence is only necessary when it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a violent nigga, but I like I said, I have a short temper. You know, I want to fight. You know, I get my emotions. My emotions run my life. And that I've been trying to change that shit since high school, you know? And we don't, as a conglomerate, as a people, all I can do is talk about Boston. I've been all over the place, but I never lived anywhere else besides Boston and Plymouth. I lived in New Hampshire for a little while too, but I'm from here. I know the black folks here. My family's here. I know we're all connected. We don't know what love is, you know what I'm saying? And we don't have anybody that takes our mental health serious. Nobody really wants to help us.
So how can we move towards changing that? And towards getting people
children. That's probably the first thing. Like, I know that sounds like kind of like redundant, maybe even like an oxymoron. But if we raise our kids, like legit teach them values and morals from like 2 generations like we learned, then it probably would be different. Like, seriously. And then on top of that, grabbing up your little homie and trying to school him isn't bitch. That's not a bitch move, you know what I'm saying? Telling him to save his bread. If he gonna be a drug dealer, then he gonna be a drug dealer. Teach that nigga. Like, at the end of the day, drug dealers want to get out the hood and have a lot of money and succeed in life. That's what a drug dealer wants to do. He wants to feed himself. Teach him to save some money. He'll save some money, buy something legit, and go up. You know what I mean? It's all up there. It's your bread.
Are you familiar with the theory of harm reduction?
No, what is that?
It's kind of like what you're saying. It's almost like saying don't. It's so like, let's say there's a kid that, you know, wants to sell drugs, and you're just not going to tell him anything otherwise. He carries a gun on him all the time. So it's almost like saying, look, sell your drugs, leave the gun in the house unless it's absolutely necessary.
And that's what I mean by teaching these young brothers the simple, like, that's simple. And it would blow your mind how many of these young niggas don't know to just leave their pistol in the house unless it's a problem. Because me and you both been to jail. How many people are second subs and they're like 21, 20?
I was.
You set yourself up, bro. And ain't nobody telling you different. All your niggas is like, yo, you got tone, you got the tone, you got the tone. What you got to, are we, and if you gonna be a gangbanger, you really gonna kill? What are you really doing telling them? Like, I'm confused. I don't know, man. It boils my blood. It's like on some random shit. Y'all here telling people on Facebook, on Snapchat that you're killing people. You're posting the guns. You're talking about it. Like, it's just like, cuz, shut up. Now you in jail for life because you want to be cute. Now you cute in jail. Stupid. You know what I mean? Like, no, and then who's your older mans?
Yeah.
And who's his older mans?
Yeah.
Because I'm younger than your older mans. We got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Somebody got to check you, cuz. And if you really on some murderous shit, you realize you're a real live murderer, then you got to pick and choose who you kill. You got to kill honestly. I know that doesn't make no sense, but you can't just walk around bodying people because that shit comes back. So you just gonna be another. What is it? You live by the gun, you die by the gun.
Well, that's actually a part of harm reduction as well, where it's like there's 4 people sitting in a car, 1 person's the target. Normally, someone might shoot the whole car up, but it's like, don't shoot the whole car up. I get what you mean. So
right. I get what you mean, and not to cut you off.
Yep.
I'm not saying to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm not agreeing that it's okay to go kill somebody. I'm not saying that what they're doing today is okay. And I'm not even saying that you should tell somebody to go kill somebody in a certain way. But if I love you and I care about you, I don't want to see no harm to you done. And I want to see you prosper in whatever way you can, however you live. And I'm telling you to do something positive, and you're not going to do that. So all I can do is make your situation positive. Like you said, if you're riding around with some drugs and a tone, I'm gonna tell you, put the tone down. You know what I'm saying? Go put the tone in the house. What are you doing?
So in general, what are some, I guess, strategies that I guess some of the older brothers like us could be doing to help slow down some of the violence, help begin to raise awareness around mental health and kind of dealing with some of the traumas that we take on as normal?
Well, we all have to start acknowledging that we have a problem. That's always the first step everywhere, everything, in the 12-step program, everything. Like, we as a people, and it's hard because when people say shit like that, we as a people, you be like, I ain't part of that people. I'm not. You are, though. Like, I am. You are. They are. Anybody with pigment in their skin and that has dealt with the justice system at all, you have been systematically profiled and racist and don't even know it. I know it. You know it. The knowledge is not being spread. Nobody's being told. And we're walking around stupid. And like, BPS ain't gonna tell these kids what's really going on. Nobody's gonna teach these kids. You know, they're watching Kanye tell the whole world that Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. You know what I'm saying? He has a fucking mental problem. He has bipolar disorder. Nobody's talking about that. We're just talking about what he said. And what he said is totally wrong. So if nobody's there to check you, yo, bro, what are you saying? What the fuck are you saying? Like, yo, come here, let me talk. He didn't really mean that. What he actually meant, blah, 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 blah. You know, nobody's there for us to catch us, hold us down.
Why do you think that is?
Because our mothers have more than one kid. Real shit. Unless you have like, unless you're just a single child and your mother and father, if you have your father, is able to,
in the sense of having the time to actually do it.
Absolutely.
And that's with work and everything else someone may have going on.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you ask me what we can do, and my main thing is to raise your fucking children. Like, dead ass. I have to work. I'm going to school. You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds like, and I mean, we're in agreement on this. It sounds like my whole theory is if we can round up, you know, the generation of parents in our community and suggest, help, whatever, support their mental health, in my mind, within a generation or two,
that should help our children.
Half of these systems that these kids need, they just won't need.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, that's kind of what I've been pushing for, because I found myself in positions where,
when it comes to it, you can't fix anybody.
Yes.
Like you said earlier. You can't make people happy. Nobody can make you happy. Nobody explains this to us. We don't know. We should know. These seems like things. As I'm a 33-year-old man, I'm saying this. I didn't know any of the things I'm saying, but it seems like I should have known. But nobody was there to teach me.
You know what? I love that you said "seem," because I feel like so many of us are judged. Everybody looks at another person from their own vantage point. So whatever they feel like they were able to do, they feel like you should have been able to do, especially if you're in the same environment. And it was always interesting to me when you say "seem." You're right. We did not know any, like, that's why I asked what you thought like a man was, because you know, we grow up in, I was raised to be the N-word, and I was a good one. I was as savage. I was a good one. I never knew, you know, I was never taught brotherly love. I had comrades and homies, but I wasn't taught love.
Right.
You know, not in any full extent.
Right.
You know, I didn't know what a man was supposed to be. I didn't know what a dad was. I mean, I grew up with my dad, but he was emotionally unavailable. He was always working. So, you know, we hung outside. And so it got to that point where you end up figuring out so much on your own that yes, you know a lot, but there's these really subtle, small things that we just didn't get a chance to learn.
Not even that, nobody took the chance to teach us. And like I said, in your formative years, these are the most important times. And like you said, if we got to it sounds so utopia, like, you know, maybe what if, but it could be done. If we got to every one of our generation and help them with their mental health, then their children by default, you know what I mean? That pain, that shit that you're passing down. I just had a son. He's 3 years old. He has the pain. He has the and he's not. I was mad. I was bad and shit. He's not mad.
So what are some things you do as a father to sort of slow and eventually break some of the cycles that you had to go through so that he won't have to go through that?
Well, I'm with my kid off. Well, obviously, but you know, I don't think that he's going to be able to take any of that in yet, even though these are the formative years. I work on his speech. I work on it. Like I'm trying to do, not by the book, but what I feel is right. And I know you're asking me what I feel is right, but it's kind of hard to explain because I just feel like it's like a human thing. You know, you take care of your child, you bring him to the park, you give him a bath, you read him books at night.
So let me jump in. And this is something, and I've heard this before, and I've said that before as well. Part of the reason I guess I'm proud of myself is because I feel like in every world that eventually circles back and connects to my son and his relationship with me, I feel like I've put a lot. So it's like, you know, we talk about the fatherly duties of, you know, spending the quality time, providing, and like, so I know brothers that, so like you have a temper. So you can take your kid to the park, you can read to him, you can school him, you could, all of that, help his emotional well-being, but then you could be outside of the house by yourself and get into an argument that quick.
Well, let me even touch on that subject. I have a daughter. I have a 12-year-old daughter. As of today, our relationship isn't that great. And you know, I'm not even gonna go into the whole shit because it's way deeper than it's supposed to be. But you know, her mom isn't letting our relationship blossom into what it's supposed to be. And I believe that, you know, I've done everything I'm supposed to do on my side as a father, and I'm being kind of cast out for wanting to be a good father. So with that being said,
I gotta jump in. Let me jump in.
Go ahead.
What role in the relation? Forget your daughter. What role in the relationship did you play? The
provider, right? Hands down, everything. The provider, everything. Provide everything.
Beyond that, providing to make sure everybody's straight. Was your relationship toxic?
Yes.
I mean, so I guess what I'm saying for that part is I always ask dudes who say that part with the baby's moms. I think it's a situation where and I think prison plays a role in it because we get so much fucking time to think. But we kind of grow past sort of that pain from the relationship, whereas a lot of times our kids' moms don't, or not as quickly because
she
they
probably
still
blames me a lot, and this is why we're not together. And I have a whole fiance and a whole different family and shit. But I definitely feel like she might blame, like feel some kind of way that I left her. I had 15 years, and my daughter was 2.5. You know what I'm saying? Oh, about to be 2. So, and then I came home. My daughter was 7, 6, 7. Yeah, about to be 7. So I left when she was 20 months, came home when she was 7 or 6.5, whatever. That's a long time. And my mom did a lot for her. So it was like, my mom was my substitute. That's not a great substitute, even though the help is a great.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm looking at it from the perspective of either way, your child's mom has to heal on her own.
Absolutely.
And that, I mean, that could take another 20 years.
Nobody knows.
Yes.
Nobody knows.
Yes, because I like when I talk to brothers, like they, you know, especially like if it's child support, if it's, those are all just mediums. Sometimes that anger gets expressed through. But I mean, I know that I dog my kid's mom. I mean, I can't even, you know what I mean? I was in the street with her. It wasn't, you know, I was a street dude. I mean, I'm not respecting no woman, like not to the highest degree anyway. I mean, so no, I always like try to
Well, it was really, I was 18, 19, 17, you know what I'm saying, 20, before I went to jail type shit, you know, I was doing the most, and then we had a kid, and then I had to be really responsible. Like, my mom first kicked me out the crib when I was 16 type shit, you know? So, like, I experienced mad shit before I was supposed to. I went to Miami to buy my first kilo of cocaine when I was 17. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how many people do that shit. Like, my life is a fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? You would really not believe half the shit I tell you. And it would be okay. It's okay you don't believe me. I lived this shit. And then went to prison for it. So it doesn't matter if you believe me or not. But besides the point, like, all of the shit that I went through is who I am today. And now I'm able to realize, take all of the shit that I went through and kind of digest and figure out what was wrong with me. And I'm still trying to do that. I'm still trying to make myself a better man. And still trying to, you know, we were just talking about earlier, my temper. I'm still trying to figure out a way to quell that, and to, you know, music is one of them. I be arguing with my shorty about dumb shit all the time, my fiance. You know, emotionally, nobody's taught, again, I'm touching on the subject, nobody teaches us how to deal with our mental state. Nobody teaches us how to deal with our emotions without acting out. My whole life, when I'm mad, I act out. I punch, I fight, I kick. You know what I'm saying? So going to prison, that wasn't hard. You know, I'm mad or whatever. I'm surviving, you know? And then in prison, I wasn't no killer or gangbanger, but I was straight. You know, I got in dumb fights. I locked and socked a few motherfuckers. Like, you know, I had to do what I had to do. So, you know, and I was straight, like really straight. Like, my man was a coat, my Cody was a blood. Like, I'm Gucci, but I still had to be a man and move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? When you're in jail, it's a survival tactic. When you're home, you still surviving. I, like, at one point in time, like 2 years ago, I had to tell myself, like, bro, you got to stop surviving and start living, my nigga. Like, real rap.
Isn't it? It's a transition, my friend.
It's not, and nobody really, especially, like, I have a really big family. They call me Cuzzo. I have like 250 cousins, like dead ass cousins. So I'm, you know, Mike Cuzzo. What's up, Cuzzo? Call me Cuzzo because I have a million cousins. Dead it, I'm Cuzzo. So they live a good life. Not everybody, but my family is in a good position. You know, I'm not the black sheep of the family, but I'm kind of the get your shit together kind of part of the family. You know what I'm saying? And so as I'm getting it together, I'm starting to realize where, in like all the questions you're asking, I've asked myself, what made me, you know, go this way? What was, why was I feeling this way? What is, you know, these questions I've asked myself multiple times.
Is it important to ask yourself these questions?
Yes, it's important. Not only is it important, I can't wait until my son is, and this is, I can't wait till me and my daughter have our relationship back to normal. But, you know, my son, I'm worried about my daughter and my son, but my son is a black man. And the way black men are being treated, and the way black women are being treated too. So don't, like, the way cops treat us outside is the way doctors treat black women in the hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That shit's real.
Yep.
They really try to kill black women and their fetuses, and it's just so much conspiracy dumb shit. But we're under attack as a whole fucking unit. You have pigment in your skin if you're brown, if you're Mexican, if you're fucking Polynesian, if you look like you're black. It don't fucking matter if you look like you're black or if you look like you're Islamic. You're a threat. And that's just what it is. It's not even, like, we don't even have to play a game right now. And you're racially profiled once you are in the system, no matter what it is. I was just looking at some shit the other day. The man had the same exact case. Everything. Robbery with intent to murder or some shit like that. The same weapon. One was white, one was black. One got 2.5 years, one got 26 years. That's literally how life goes. I was in jail with a man that had, what did he say he had? We were calling this motherfucker a rat so much that I really believed he was a rat. He pulled his paperwork out and really got 5 years for like 5 kilos of cocaine. He really got that. White boy from Bridgewater or some shit like that.
Yeah, just off the strength.
Off the strength. He really got 5 years. Bro, my heart's racing as I'm talking about it because I remember.
So let me ask, and I mean, I'll be mindful of the time. I want to get you to school.
Yeah, I definitely.
But so last question. One, what was trying to address your mental health like in prison, and what are some of the ways you address it now?
There was no addressing my mental health in prison. Nobody addresses it. Me, them, nobody. Nobody cares. As long as I'm not trying to kill myself. And you wouldn't know until I tried to kill myself, pretty much.
I know exactly what you mean.
So, but here, nobody, it's kind of not that, it's, in prison, I'm surviving. Home, you need to thrive. Nobody tells you that either. You know what I mean? The reentry programs, nobody tells you that shit. You know what I'm saying?
But I specifically want you to speak towards how you manage your mental health on the street now.
Exactly. This is where I'm going. Because why I said the reentry program is because I've been to reentry programs. I've went through that and didn't learn anything, but they think you don't have a GED. They're trying to give you things that you already have type shit. You know what I mean? Teaching you like you're an idiot. So when I go through that, my experience after that is like, fuck y'all, you don't care about me. I get home into the free life. Like, I'm actually free right now. I walk around, I look at the trees. Like, I appreciate shit a lot more. I look at ants and shit. I be on some weird shit. Like nature, I watch nature channels, I do nature walks. Like, I need that in my life, because you take this shit for granted. You know what I mean? And then once they take it all away from you, it's gone. You don't. So
is a form of you dealing with your stress is by being appreciative of life? Absolutely.
I think that I wouldn't have been able to say that. I would have said that shit. I would have said the same shit 8 times without saying.
Listen, that. I just gotta get him to school. I'm already gonna make him like 2 minutes late.
I'll be Gucci. I got till 4:30. I'm straight.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you got till 4:30?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's. I find myself doing that too. Like, I remember when I was in the cell, like in the cage, I always used to watch the sunrise. And in O'Colony, when you look out, the rec deck was a brick wall.
OCCC? I was a OCCC minimum.
Okay.
So I know exactly what.
And so I remember I always used to wait for it to cross right above the brick and touch and be shining through the barbed wire. And I just used to be like, when I get home, I'm gonna take the time to watch a sunrise.
Yeah.
Like, things that people, it's not even taking it for granted. I just never really saw that kind of beauty before. Yeah. Like, I had to learn new ways to see love, to appreciate life. Absolutely.
What we go through, especially being from where we're from the streets, from the projects, from Boston, nobody appreciates our life, and we don't appreciate our life either.
Let me ask you then, what can be done to better the and I don't ever feel like anybody but the community members going through it can kind of bring themselves out of it. We need supports, obviously, but what are some things we can do to help better the relationship between the community and the police?
I mean, everybody's screaming to fund the police, but I don't know if it definitely would work. Taking money away from these people, and when I mean these people, I mean the people in power who are Caucasian males that do not like African Americans and or people of brown color. Not all white folks are that way. Not everybody with power is that way, but majority is. It's just what it is. So the best way for us is to come together and actually acknowledge that. You know what I mean? These people ain't shit.
Who come together?
Us and I mean us, I mean our friends, our mothers, not just again, it's easy because I hear it all the time, you know what I mean? We all got to come together and shit like that. And it just sounds so good. But if we actually sat down in different groups, not everybody has to come together as one, but everybody sat down with a group they're comfortable with talking about and have legit conversations about how these people are messed up or whatever, and get all your anger out in that session or sessions, multiple sessions probably, and start to realize that it's fucked up. We know it's fucked up. Let's move on as a team, as a unit, and navigate through the fucked up shit, because this is what we do right now. We have to deal with, and just like he was telling me, to teach the young man how to live in his own means type shit, you know what I mean? So we as a conglomerate need to learn how to move within our own means, and we don't. We have people all the way at the top, and then we have people all the way at the bottom. There's nobody in the middle. There's no middle class for black people. There might be middle class black people, but there's no middle class for black people.
Yes.
You feel what I'm
I
saying?
know what you mean.
So it's like we're either in the hood or we're good. There's no like I'm 1 foot out, 1 foot in. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? We're obviously getting our stuff together and we all want to leave the hood. But why are we leaving our hood? Why? Because of the violence, all that other shit, you know what I mean? The bad shit. They're buying the shit that we're leaving, sending us somewhere else, and we're gonna turn that shit into the same hood we just left. Then they're gonna come buy that again. So we're just gonna turn into nomadic people until we actually stand together. Be like, damn, they're pieces of shits. Let's just put all resources together and manage a quality life with what we have.
Do you think building the quality life would influence people outside of our circles to see us with more respect?
No. I don't think that we should even look for respect from people that don't want to give us respect. I don't think that should even matter to a certain degree, as long as you're not disrespecting me for my work or my money or keeping me from a loan or whatever. Any personal vendetta that you have with me, I don't care, as long as it doesn't interfere with my life. You know what I mean? And that's how I actually feel about racist people too. You can be racist all you want, as long as you're not messing with my money or hurting me or my family or my brother. You can, those are your opinions. But once you start to express your opinions, your opinionated values and your privilege, and you start to actually push those upon me and anybody around me that I feel is a loved one or a family member, I'm going to take that a certain way, you know? And then there goes that temper. And then my problem, Michael's problem is, you know, I might be right. I know I'm intelligent. I can talk. I can talk my shit out. Once it's there though, ain't no more talking. I'm not listening. I don't give a fuck about, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to go.
And in that moment of going, do you ever take a quick moment and to remember your responsibilities?
I do now.
Good.
I do now. I can honestly say that now.
And now, do we mean since yesterday, since last week?
Nah. Maybe like 2-3 years. I've been home for 5. Almost 6. Yeah, now I've been home for 6. I've been home 6 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It's a full circle. I was back from damn near 6. I'm home for damn near
on the 29th, it'll be 5 years for me. Shoot,
right. So for me, and that's what I was always thinking of, like, until I'm able to say that I've been home as long as I've been locked up, it's not really gonna make sense to me. You know what I mean? It might make sense to everybody else.
No,
it ain't gonna make
that
no sense
makes
to me.
Total sense.
And then, like, we touched on it earlier. Nobody really understands the transition from prison to freedom. You know what I mean? From survival to, bro, you okay? You can go.
And
to
you
sleep.
know what? Let me add in that when he says that, I feel him immediately, as almost anyone who went to prison would. But the difference for me is, it's different when you go to prison or go to county jail once or twice, kind of get the, you know, dudes is like, yo, get out of this now, and you come home and get out of it. That's a different sort of mind state, as opposed to when I was young upstate. You know, it wasn't like, man, get out and do right. It was like, man, I got some money waiting for you, man. I'm trying to get this case to go away. Can you help me out? Type shit. Like, I was in prison looking forward to getting out, just to do shit that would bring me right back to prison.
You don't go to prison and reform ever. Nobody I know has went to prison and was like, yo, bro, I ain't never gonna do this shit again. What made me say I don't want to go to prison again was me. You know what I'm saying? When I was in prison, I sold drugs. I did the same shit that I went to prison for.
And being able to,
for the same reason, to
say,
eat.
Yep. But when you say it's you that has to make that decision. I came to that point too, where I made that decision, but I was only able to make that decision because I had begun dealing with the mental health in so many different forms, that option to change on that level presented itself. Otherwise, I never even would have thought about it.
Well, how about they gave me 15 years mandatory and I fought tooth and nail and I flipped it. When that flip came, when they told me there's no more, it was 7-7 in a day, and all I had to do was like 2.5 left. When I got that news, life changed for me, for everything. And when they gave me the 15, I could have, like, there was no go to the, there was a couple motherfuckers that said go to the law library and check your shit, fix your shit, your case is all fucked up and shit. But most of it was like, yo, come to the gym, come work out, come do this, won't you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you ain't on the phone? Why you sleeping? Why, you know what I mean? Like, nobody really wants to see you succeed, man. And when you grow up in that crab in the barrel mentality and everybody's at the bottom trying to get to the top, you pass that down and then it gets worse and worse. And I brought up the music and you brought up the music. The music really is like really why these young brothers and sisters is doing the things they're doing. The shit is like put in front of them on like graphic symbolisms and random shit. And if you see a girl twerking from 2 to 7, the little girl's gonna start twerking. This is what she sees all the time. When you in the projects and, you know, you got 5 brothers and 3 of them are dead from gunfire, what do you think the little brother's gonna be? If he ain't a book smart bookworm, a nerd, I mean, then he's all the way in the hood. There's no middle ground.
And energy put into him, yeah.
There's no middle ground. This is what I mean. You're either out of the hood or you're in the hood. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and 85% of the time, that young man is gonna be a gangbanger. All 3 of my brothers are dead from gun violence. I'm gonna go ahead. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. This is where we come from. I mean, I could give you so many.
So I guess, so in essence, the interruption of all of what we're talking about. I mean, everybody's accountable at their own level, but parents play a hell of a role in everything that's going on.
My parents played a big role, and my mother loved me, but she didn't give me the love that I did. It's fucked up to say that shit. I don't even like saying that. But grown, like, she didn't really give me the love that I needed to not be where I am today.
Did she have...
She didn't have the love either, though.
And did she have the time to do it?
No. She was dolo, 3 kids.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to grow up today, like, this. No, well, I paid attention to that after when I seen her crying and they gave me that 15 years. I spent a lot of time in prison, like, reevaluating who the fuck I was. When they took away the 15 years, it was a lot of like, yo, bro, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Would you have ever been able to take that time to think if you had not got that time?
I always ask myself, and I really believe that I needed to go to jail. I don't think I needed 15 years. But I didn't need the 6 that I did. You know, maybe I needed a year or 2, but I needed to go to jail to understand what the fuck jail was. To understand what I'm like. I'm a young black man, nigga, like, smarten up. They don't care about you. Like, they'll throw you under the fucking jail. When they gave me 15 mandatory, that opened up a veil over my eyes. Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Imagine never being in trouble, and I'm a troublemaker too. But when I say not being in trouble, I mean not being arrested.
Offense. Yep.
Yeah, I fought so many times. I sold mad drugs, but you don't know I'm selling drugs. I'm a little motherfucking kid, so you know I'm 5'6". What the fuck is this little nigga doing? You know, you're not really gonna pay attention unless you catch me red-handed. I'm sneaky. You ain't gonna catch that. So I'm running through life thinking I could just get away with shit, and then boom, jail happens. I needed that. Slow the fuck down, nigga, or you gonna die out here, or worse type shit. You know what I'm saying? And even though death might be better than going to jail, like, I'm just keeping it 100. You can come back home and shit, but some niggas don't even make it out of jail. I seen some real bad shit. Some real OCCC is the, come on, son. Like, that shit is not for us. This period is not who we are as a.
Yeah, it's something we had to endure, but
yeah, and then
given other options, we probably would have made a different life.
Not only that, not only would we had, if I was given it, I wouldn't have been the best basketball player, but I would have went to college for basketball. You know, I would have did something. I'm smart, you know what I mean? Like, I got like a fucking 1250 on my SATs or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with actually having an intelligent, intellectual conversation. You know, I would like to talk out my feelings instead of hurting somebody. Do I know how to do that shit? No. I'm learning. I'm teaching myself. I just learned how to save money. You feel me?
Yes.
And that's a basic thing that everybody in this world blow. You don't know how to save money. You don't know how to save. No. And nobody teaches us that shit.
And I mean, all of these are good points, because I mean, that is the reality, is that you're not going to do what you don't know. For me, it kind of
it's plain and simple.
And you're right, there does have to, and what I was saying was, in terms of like, I guess the full picture of like how I feel as a dad, I understood that being a dad was being financially responsible. It was getting life insurance. It is writing out a will. Like literally, I never thought like this until the last few years.
I didn't think about this until my son was born.
Yeah, and I mean, but you're right. Like, there's the level of catch up that needs to be done. For me, only was able to be done when I began to value myself more and deal with my own issues.
So the question you asked earlier, what did you say? Because you just touched on a point. I can't. We just had a whole in-depth conversation. I can't even freaking remember it. But what you just said is how I feel. Like, legit. Like, I didn't start to actually realize how intelligent I was, how smart I was. Like, in school, I could have had A's and B's. Like, I could have been an honor roll student. I left BPS, I went to New Hampshire, and I got A's and B's. You know what I mean? And that's because I applied myself just a little bit. I didn't even fully work for them. I didn't even give them my whole all. Nobody cared about me. You know? And when you grow up thinking nobody cares about you, you never give your all. When you think nobody cares that you're about to make this layup, you're not going to give your all in the practice. But when you think nobody cares about, and my mom told me I could drop out when I was 16. So like, school really didn't, my father really put like a light under my ass to make me graduate, because I wouldn't have graduated high school. If you don't care, I don't care. And that's actually a really good point, because you're right. And it's like that mindset, we grow up with it. Yeah. And when we're put in positions where there's great opportunity in front of us, I'd much rather take the easy way out, if that means I have to work a little hard to get that bigger payoff. Well, no, the easy way out for us would be coming to the streets. For us, the harder way out is going to work. And I'm going to make sure my daughter and my son knows that the easy way is going to work. The harder way is coming to the streets.
But that's the generational part. That's the breaking of the cycle. That's the breaking part.
Absolutely.
But that's and that's a perfect way to put it, is so much of what goes on in mainstream is the exact reverse in the street.
Absolutely.
It's still the same wants, needs, beliefs, dreams, but
So
it's a
total
revert.
180.
It's a total 180.
Total.
But listen, a pleasure. I'm not going to be responsible for this man being late for school. I'm sorry.
I gotta go. Thank you, bro.
Absolutely.